coming up in all angles. Jamaica tops the world. Best performing stock market. Investors rushing to cash in. Wealth building, equity, IPOs.
The company aims to raise more than $11 billion. It plans to do so by selling 8 billion shares at a cost of $1.41 each.
But could this be a bubble waiting to burst? Okay, and thank you so much for joining us. You're watching All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Miller, and a very special welcome to our viewers on oneswatmedia.com. And joining us in studio to discuss all these issues, we have Chief Regulatory Officer of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Andre Tullo. Financial advisor at Sagicor, Bridget Knight, is with us. Co-host of the podcast, The Earnings Season, Danai Hall, and business editor at Television Jamaica, Dashan Hendricks. And I should say I do have a personal and a business connection to Danai. But just before we get into discussion, Kelisha has this overview.
In 2018, Bloomberg listed Jamaica as the home of the world's best performing stock market. The second time in 4 years after a similar rank in 2015. The ranking came as the market continued to attract new companies and investors. A year earlier, the largest initial public offering IPO in Jamaica's stock market history was launched by the Wisinka Group, selling 20% of its shares to the public. Then, a year later, another big one, this time through the government's divestment of the Wigton wind farm in 2019.
This is the first IPO of a government company in approximately 30 years. Approximately. Just think about that. The first IPO of a government-owned company in nearly 3 decades. It's also significant because the government is divesting via the stock exchange 100% of Wigton.
Some 31,200 Jamaicans bought the 11 billion shares on offer at 50 cents each.
We are pleased to report that 11,772, or 38%, are new investors to the market.
Wigton became the 82nd company listed on the JSE, which now has 87 companies listed.
And I'm truly privileged to be here to witness this historic occasion.
So, with the stock market growing rapidly over the past 5 years, more and more Jamaicans are becoming interested in buying shares. In fact, the number of accounts hosted by the Jamaica Central Securities Depository, JCSD, for stock market investors jumped by 30% in 2019, largely driven by new market entrants, according to the Gleaner. Now comes Trans-Jamaican Highway, another government IPO, which is expected to double Wigton's subscription and raise over $11 billion when it opens on February 17. Kelisha Williams for All Angles.
Thank you so much, Kelisha. Remember, our hashtag is TVJ All Angles, and let me jump right in with Dashan. Dashan, best performing stock market in the world. I mean, is that surprising?
Well, it was the best performing stock market in 2015. And for the last 5 years, as Kelisha said in the overview, it has been performing well. It did like 94%, if my memory serves me right, in 2015. Coming last year, every single year improving. Last year, it was at 34%. So people are buying into the market, and the Jamaica Stock Exchange is going out more as well in marketing itself and stock and owning stocks as well. So people are coming in, and not only are people coming into the market, but new investors are coming into the market as well, and that bodes well for the stock exchange.
So, Andre Tullo, what's driving that, though?
Well, I believe that the fundamental factor is the economic condition that exists in Jamaica at this point in time, where the low interest rate in terms of bonds, savings, persons are looking for other investment opportunities that are out there, which the stock market presents that.
How much are you getting on savings accounts now again? 1%?
People still check that?
Below 1%.
Below 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, Bank of Jamaica is 0.5% as the policy rate, and banks not going to set above that.
Yeah.
But surely there are other jurisdictions in which you have these kinds of economic situations in terms of low interest on savings account. That's pretty much a given throughout the world. So why Jamaica?
Well, you have to look at the background where the stability of the economy is very important, as well as this fosters confidence in the this fosters investor confidence and a drive towards saying that, okay, when I put my money at the stock exchange, we are putting it in an environment that is well regulated. One can have redress to if there are any issues. When you compare to other entities, the UFOs, like, I don't want to call the names, right? But
It's all right. I'm going to refer to cash plus and all entities. All right, let me bring in the other two. Danai Hall, for you, why is the market so hot right now? I mean, it's like I wake up one day and everybody on my Twitter account is talking about investing and finance Twitter JA and shares and where they must buy and whatever. What's driving this?
A lot of it is, for nowadays with the finance Twitter JA and a lot of people now coming into the market, they're hearing about what happened in 2015. I remember in 2015 there was a news article speaking about the amount of millionaires that were made in that 1 year. So a lot of people seeing what was happening then and they're trying to cash in on that. Why that was happening was because before that there was a lot of economic policy at the time. We had high interest rates in government bonds. So it was easy for me to go out, get a good return on those, investing in the safest security in the country. When interest rates fell, then I need something now to give me money. So people started looking elsewhere, and the stock market was viable because at the time, stocks weren't really performing really that well because a lot of people there wasn't a lot of people in the market. You had companies trading way below the actual underlying value. So people started buying into that, buying companies at discounts, and they started making a lot of money when everybody else started catching on and going into it.
And remember to that, you have to look at the where we're coming from, because our interest rate was quite high.
Yeah.
So one wouldn't have had if you can get on a bond a fixed interest rate of 30%, there's no reason for you to want to come to the stock exchange. That doesn't exist anymore.
The advent of social media as well.
Really?
It's out there, it's in your face, it's everywhere. So a lot of persons are becoming more educated. A lot of persons want to try just because they're seeing it so much. They're being basically bombarded by this. And so why not try it? Why not try something different? Why not, before now, right now that's happening, the surge that's happening now, persons used to just think that they have no option. A lot of persons thought they had no other option than to just put their money in the bank and just accept what it is that they're getting on it, which is little or nothing. But with the advent of social media, the marketing strategy of the stock exchange and the financial companies as well, then we see a surge because persons are being bombarded every day. You wake up, it's there, it's on Instagram, it's on Twitter, and so now persons are getting curious. Why not try something different?
But the biggest factor, though, Dion, is simply that the government is not in the market as active as it was pre the IMF agreement 2013, which we exited last year. With the government not in the market, as has been pointed out, it means that people had to find somewhere for their money to earn. And I remember when Bruce Golding was the Prime Minister, I listened to him one day talking about we trained some of the best financial analysts at some of the top schools in the United States, and they come and they sit behind a desk and wait on the government to float a paper and invest on it. Saying they were not using their knowledge in finance to create securities for their clients. But now the government is not there. The government is not actively borrowing as much as it was. The money needs to find somewhere to earn, and the stock exchange is one of the avenue that is being benefiting from it. But we have issues there as well.
How?
Well,
You can't just lift yourself.
well, as has been pointed out, social media is playing a role, and it begins to worry me when I have people approach me in the streets, people call me and say, which stock I can put money on to make a quick money. They're like, your jaw breaks, and you say like, what do you mean make a quick money? It's on like cash plus and all in. And you start to wonder if people are getting the right education before they invest in stocks. What the brokerage houses are doing, what the FSC is doing in terms of regulating people who are coming on finance Twitter. We don't know how they are in terms of license and their qualifications to give stock advice on people buying stocks. And they're saying buy X stock without giving any reason behind why a person should buy the stock. And then you create this herd mentality. And if we continue along this way, we're not there yet though, but if we continue, we may even push ourselves into a bubble. But we are far away from a bubble right now.
Hold that thought, because we want to come back to this. Many other issues we want to talk about. Who is benefiting? Is are the new investors spread out enough? Are we really talking about a small set of people? Much more to talk about. We're talking stocks, investing, and making money on all angles. Remember our hashtag, it's TVJ, all angles soon come.